Hi, Amy Muller here with Life's Rabbit Hole, and this is the companion video for lesson number 2 of the ebook Millionaire Mentors and the Lessons They Taught Me. And this lesson is centered around the 6 human needs. Now, we all have the same basic needs, and we all behave in ways to serve those needs. The 2 differences between people are, 1, which needs are dominant, so which of those needs, of those 6 needs that we serve first, and 2, the behaviors that we use in order to serve those needs. Now, often the needs that come to the surface first, like our dominant needs, are brought about based on our upbringing or experiences that we've been through before. So let me give you an example. When I grew up, I was in a single parent family, so it was just my dad and my older brother and me. And my dad, who didn't have a high school diploma, had very limited job options, so he was a truck driver. And that kept him away from home most of the time. He'd be gone for more than a week or 2 in some cases at a time. And so outside of school, probably 70% of my time I spent alone. So that developed in me this really big need for significance, because I thought that the more significant I was, the more that I would matter. Like the more that people would want to spend time with me if I were significant. And so I did what I could to matter more. Like I worked as hard as I could in school to be a great student, and I worked really hard at my jobs to be the best employee. And then, after college, I worked really hard as an entrepreneur to be award winning and that sort of thing. And so just everything I did, I was always pushing myself because I wanted to be significant. I wanted to matter, be someone important, someone special, because I thought that would give me what I was lacking. And really what it turned out to be is that I was trying so hard to serve a different need. I just didn't realize. I was trying to serve love and connection more so really than being significant was the goal I was after. I just didn't realize that. And so no matter how significant I became, it really wasn't filling that void. So remember, the first difference between people is which of the needs is dominant. And I had served the need for significance for so long when really I was trying to serve the need for love and connection. But the second difference between people was the behaviors we use in order to serve those needs. So all of those years that I was working really hard, and I did become more significant, it just didn't fill the love and connection that I needed. That came later after I learned about this concept. But all those years I spent working hard, I was working really hard and doing things well in order to serve that need. So it didn't not serve me in other ways. The behaviors were still healthy behaviors. However, let me give you another example, because there are some people out there where they're serving that need of significance, but they're doing it in a less healthy way. So for example, if you've ever seen like a boss that just yells at people, like blatantly mean or rude to people with no consideration for their feelings or whatever, a lot of times that's someone who's trying to serve significance, because doing that, like that anger and that, it makes them feel powerful, which makes them feel significant. Another example would be like bullying, insulting people, cutting other people down. A lot of times people do that because, again, it makes them feel that power, which makes them feel significant. They're just trying to serve a need. So they just don't realize that they're doing it in a less healthy way, and they may be serving a need like I was that isn't really serving what they're looking to get out of it, and they just don't know that. So keep in mind too that when you read through this chapter and you read about the 6 different needs that there are, and you're trying to figure out maybe which of your behaviors are serving which needs, or which of your needs are dominant, or that sort of thing, just keep in mind that the needs, all 6 needs, we all have all 6. So just keep in mind that we all have all 6 needs. Like, none of the needs are bad. It's not that you shouldn't serve significance. That's not a bad thing. But how you go about serving those definitely is a relative scale of healthy to unhealthy, or, more effective, less effective, that kind of thing. For example, serving significance for me, doing all that hard work, it got me a lot of other positive outcomes. but had I served significance in a way where I was bullying other people or being a horrible boss or whatever, I'm sure I'd feel really differently about serving that need. So remember, none of the needs are bad. You just want to be sure that the behaviors you're using to serve those needs are healthy for you and are actually getting you what you're seeking. So a couple of things to remember as we wrap up this topic. Growth and contribution are considered the highest level needs, like the most worthy. And generally it's thought that as long as you're serving contribution, which is helping others, and growth, which is you're always continuing to progress yourself, then you're going to be serving all of the needs. Like it's hard to, for example, for me, it's hard to serve others and really have an impact positively without feeling more significant, right? It serves that other need as well, but serving others first is just a higher level need to serve, I guess, if you want to put it that way. The other thing to keep in mind is that just by having this awareness that there are different needs and that our behaviors, like people's behaviors, serve those needs, it helps us to be less judgmental. Like when you see someone who's maybe not exhibiting the healthiest of behaviors or even a behavior that you yourself would consider something they shouldn't be doing, if you can keep in mind that they're probably just serving a need and they're just going about it in a way they're not realizing is really not serving that need, or maybe they don't understand that it's an unhealthy way to serve that need, it helps us kind of take a step back and be less judgmental of that person and be a little bit more understanding. And that, of course, is going to just help us be a better communicator with anybody. So just having the awareness of these needs can be a positive thing. So if you haven't already, read through the chapter of the ebook that corresponds with this video and answer the questions at the end, because those questions really are designed to help you through the process of putting this into action and making it work for you. The second thing then is, after you've done that, send us any questions or comments or suggestions that you have, because we'd love to hear from you. And you can do that by going to the website, Life's Rabbit Hole, and clicking on the contact link in the top right corner. Then not long from now, you should be receiving another email with a link to the next video for the next chapter in the ebook that is based around the concept of the 4 steps to a sale. And regardless of whether or not you're in sales as an actual career, it's definitely worth reading that chapter and watching that video, because it's not really all just about professional sales. It's really more about just the steps to being more persuasive, no matter who it is that you're working with or talking to, or what ideas you're trying to get across. So thank you for your time, and for letting us here at Life's Rabbit Hole join you on your path through the doorway to your new world. And of course, only you can open that door. And by implementing the information in this book and making it work for you, that is how you actually walk through that doorway into that new world.